Hey guys, welcome to the greenhouse. Today we are starting some more seeds. I have a 72 cell tray here filled with potting soil, and we are going to be starting some flowers. We have a ton of different stuff to start out here in this tray. I don't know if they're all going to fit in this tray, but we're gonna find out. So, yeah, that's the plan, is we're gonna start some flowers. So I have flowers out here. I also have two other trays down here behind me with various pots in them, because we also need to up pot our herb tray that's back here. And I'm also gonna start some squash, which normally I wouldn't do that. Normally I would just like direct sow squash. But I've noticed, like last year, I really struggled with getting them to live, essentially. They'd come up, and those first leaves are called cotyledons. They would come out, and then they would be eaten down to a stem. So I'm gonna start some in the greenhouse, and in a couple weeks, I will move them outside, and they'll be much bigger and hopefully harder to eat down to a nub. So that's my thought process. But anyway, I have my 72 cell tray here we're going to do flowers in. These will not be up potted. These will just go directly into the garden from this tray. I'm not going to do anything more to them. Like pot wise, they're going to go straight from this into the ground. It is a little bit late in the game for me to be doing this, but that's okay. So what I'm gonna do first, actually, because this soil's been sitting out here for a little while, I brought my little spray bottle out here, and I'm just gonna moisten this soil on the top. This is just a little pump sprayer bottle. I love this thing. I didn't even use it last year, and I have used it so much this year, and I seriously love this. I got this at Dollar General. I think it was last year, but maybe it was the year before. I don't know. But I got it at Dollar General. I really like it. I'm gonna go ahead and get some stuff written out while I wait for this water to kind of permeate into the soil a little bit. I did also run a hose out here to the greenhouse earlier. I bought a new hose, and I think it's gonna work out. But we'll find out this summer, because it very much may not either. All right, I have all my plant markers marked and put in my tray here. This is all flowers. I do have one row of ground cherries here at the end, because the ground cherries that I planted with tomatoes did not come up. But I don't know if that may have been a me problem. So we're gonna try them again. If they don't come up, they don't come up. It's no big deal. But I would like to have them. I'd like to try them, you know? So, I'm planting all these flowers, and you're like, that's a lot. And it is a lot. So what I'm planning on doing is taking the back row of the garden that is next to the privacy fence, and that is going to run along the fence, and it's going to be a row of just flowers. And I want it to be kind of like wild. It'll have sunflowers. I'm doing zinnias. I'm doing like cosmos, some snapdragons, marigolds, coleus, nasturtiums. Like, I just want it to be this like crazy, different heights flower garden, essentially. So that's the plan. I also have Mexican red torch sunflowers, which is also called Tithonia. If you've ever heard it called Tithonia, that's what that is. I love those so much. So we're starting off here with the chocolate cherry sunflowers. And actually, one of you sent me these in a Christmas card this year, which was so sweet. So I am gonna start these, and we're gonna see if they come up. So that was so nice. I was so touched by that. It made me cry a little bit, to be honest. So we're gonna do some chocolate cherry sunflowers. I have never grown these before, and they sound very beautiful. So we're gonna give them a try. So sunflowers are something that I really love to grow. Obviously I have two of them tattooed on my arm, but I've learned over the last couple years that they can be really detrimental to your garden. So they emit I guess it would be a chemical. They emit a chemical that can be a hindrance to other plants. And I've noticed that in my garden over the last few years. I didn't really put 2 and 2 together, but things that were planted right next to sunflowers tended to do a little bit worse than I was expecting. And some people don't have any issues whatsoever doing that, and which is very confusing to me. But I've noticed it in my garden. I noticed it last year in particular. I had that arched trellis of runner beans in front of my row of sunflowers, and they all did terribly. Now obviously that probably could have been because of me, and that's very possible, and I'm not doubting that whatsoever, but I do think that maybe planting them near the sunflowers was part of the problem. So this year, with all that being said, I am still growing sunflowers because I love them. But I am going to be putting them back in this back row, and I'm going to try to keep the food plants a little bit farther away from them than I normally would, just to kind of see what happens, because I'm very curious to see like the actual reality of that being an issue, you know. It's not something that's really ever talked about. My friend and I just kind of stumbled upon it last year, and it just kind of clicked for us, you know. We were like, oh, okay, like that could be part of the problem we've been having the last few years. I will continue to grow them every year, but I do also have the space where I can do that, and I can give them their own space in my garden because I have such a large space now. So I'm doing some coleus, and people always say that coleus, like, or not coleus, cosmos. I'm doing some cosmos. People say that when you plant cosmos, you always have them, but I've never had them volunteer for me, and I don't know if it's because of my zone. I love cosmos so much. They're so like just wispy and fairy tale like, and I think they're gonna be really cool in my little flower patch in the back. I can't wait to see what this looks like when it's finished. I need to today work on getting my ground cover put down, but it is currently 43 degrees outside, so that's why I'm in the greenhouse where it's like 60. So we have been having the last night it got down into the 30s, and tonight it is going to freeze. It's going to be 31 degrees. So I am keeping everything in the greenhouse. I do actually have heat mats under all of these trays over here, and that does help. I've been keeping it closed up in here and keeping the fan on. I have it off right now, but I have been keeping it on. I kept it on all night last night, and it stayed well above. It was in the 40s in here last night, so that made me feel pretty confident in the ability of the greenhouse to stay above freezing tonight. These I got from the dollar store. They're the giant cactus zinnias, and I hope these grow because these look really cool. I hope these grow. I say that, but I've had experiences with dollar store seeds that have been not great. That doesn't mean that they're all bad, but I bought a pack of pepper seeds a few years ago and none of them germinated, and I only got 5 seeds in the pack, which was, it was irksome, I guess. I was like, oh, okay. And I'm doing some nasturtiums again. I really like nasturtiums, but I've never had the experience of having them like these big huge plants. I've never gotten them to do that, so I don't know. I'm gonna try them again. I actually have a few different varieties. These are the peach melba from In My Gardener that I'm doing right now, and then I have a few others to try as well. These are really cool. These are called Cherry Rose from Livingston. I got these at Rural King. I hate these packets so much because you have to open them from the bottom, because they have the little hanger thing at the top. But man, they have pretty good seeds. And then this, I have one of these left. This is the Gleam mix. These are also from Livingston, but I only have one left in this bag. So I'm just gonna, I mean, we're gonna plant it and see what happens, you know? And then we're moving on back to sunflowers. These are not in any sort of order in this container, but that's fine. These are the teddy bear sunflowers, and these are the dwarf, like, fluffy ones. I just love these. They're so precious. Okay, now we're back on nasturtiums. These are called Empress of India. I got these at Menards. They're a burpee. Like, how beautiful. I'm also going to be working on my plant sale while I'm out here today. I won't drag you along with me for that because it'll be me struggling to do math. But now we have sunspot sunflowers. These are actually a dwarf. They're only supposed to get 2 feet tall, so. But anyway, I'm going to be working on my plant sale information to get that ready to post. I might do it today. I don't know. We'll see how much I can get done. I need to just go through all my plants, see what I have, figure out what I'm keeping for myself and what I'm selling, because I had some weird germination on my tomatoes and my peppers this year. So, yeah. Oh, I need to water some stuff. Some of the basils are looking a little sad. So that's what I'm gonna do today as well. Get that ready to post. So I'm doing some coleus. I really like coleus. It's just leaves, but they're just so pretty. I love to put them in pots, like in a hanging basket or like on my front porch. They also germinate pretty easily, I have found too, which is nice. I'm doing green zinnias for the first time. These are the Envy. I got these at Rural King as well. I've never done green zinnias. I've never done like the Queen Lime. I tried. I saved some seeds from a Queen Lime zinnia I got in a bouquet somewhere or something, and they didn't germinate. So there's a lot in here. Okay. So we're gonna do some Envy zinnias. Very excited for these. And then these marigolds, look at these. These are so crazy looking. These are called Jolly Jester, from Livingston. I got them at Rural King. I have never seen marigolds like this, and so I had to get them, obviously. They had their dollar seed pack sale, I want to say it was in March. And so I went over there and bought seeds that I didn't need, but oh well, I did it anyway, so. But I got some really cool stuff. And next we have our Tithonia, or our Mexican red torch sunflower. I really love these a lot. These are not actual sunflowers. They are like a multi-headed, kind of wild, tall plant, and I just love them. They're so pretty. They're like a dark orange red, the blooms, and they are just, I just love them so much. That'll be an every year plant for me for sure. Then we're doing candy stripe zinnias. I've had these seeds for a few years. I really like these, honestly. I mean, they all usually look the same for me, but I like them, so I keep growing them. These I've had for a really long time. They don't actually have a date on them. These are called solar power sunflowers. These are like tall sunflowers, but they have like a red center, and they're so pretty. These are Lilliput mixed zinnias from the dollar store. We're doing the most with the dollar store seeds this year. I don't even know where I got these. I may have gotten these in a goodie bag somewhere. I don't know. I did go to an event last spring that was like a bouquet and brunch type thing where you made a flower arrangement, and they gave us goodie bags, and I think they had seeds in them. Candy cane yellow zinnias, grew these last year, love them. And my favorite, the Benary's giant zinnias. I actually found out about these because I bought a bouquet at the farmer's market a couple years ago, and there was this red zinnia in it, and it was, I mean, it was probably 6 inches across. And I asked the lady, I said, what variety is this? Because I have never seen a zinnia this big. And she said they're the Benary's Giant. And I was like, okay. And I immediately got on my phone and ordered those seeds from Botanical Interests. And they truly are just massive. And I just love them so much. And then I'm going to do some ground cherries in here. Like I said, the other ones I had didn't germinate. So we're going to try again. And just see what we get. We might not get anything. But that's okay. Ah, my pile. Okay. I don't know if these need to be covered or not, but I'm going to cover them just a little bit. Okay. So that's all of the flowers. Those are all done. I need to get some painter's tape out here and tape some of these packages shut. I'm also going to throw some cucamelons in here. I have cucamelons over in the other tray from seeds that I saved, but I'm going to start a couple from the packet and just see, because I definitely want cucamelons again. Okay. So I decided that I'm going to plant cucamelons on an arched trellis this year. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to try it. Yeah, because those are just like the cutest little plants. So I really would like to have them covered an arched trellis. I think that'd be so pretty. So we have officially started all the flowers for the garden. That's a lie. Some of them are over there. I did petunias and amaranth and celosia way earlier than now. But the rest of the flowers for the wild and crazy row of flowers in the back of the garden are started. I am going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to start some squash. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm having a plant sale, like I said, and I would like, okay, this needs to move. I'm going to put I do my herbs. I guess I've never really talked about this. I put my herbs in these little grow bags. I get these on Amazon. They're very cheap. When I sell herbs, I sell them in these little bags. They say they're biodegradable, but they're definitely not. So take them out before you plant them. But I sell them in these because no one ever gives me my pots back. And yeah, I like my pots. So these are the pots I'm talking about, these little 2.5 inch squares from Greenhouse Megastore. I have the whole system for the pots, and no one ever gives me my pots back except my grandpa. So I never have enough pots, and I always have to order pots. So this year what I decided is I'm gonna start squashing these square pots, but like the tomatoes, I'm actually probably going to repot those into like solo cups, or I have saved like yogurt containers, and that will be what people go home with, because yeah, I want my pots back. So, and also a couple years ago, I maybe accidentally left like a full stack of pots in the greenhouse throughout the whole summer, and they melted. So yeah, anyway, that was super fun for me. So lots of my pots stick together now, and they have like these lips that stick out, so they don't fit in the trays very well. But that's on me. I mean, honestly, like, that's my own stupid fault. So I'm gonna start some squash. What am I starting? I gotta find it. I have a few varieties here. I'm not gonna be selling all of these because I don't have a ton of some of the seeds, but I'm gonna do just like some regular yellow crookneck squash. Basically, I'm just gonna do like the regular stuff that people like, and if I don't sell it, I don't sell it, but I figure, why not? So I'm starting these in these bigger pots because squash and like cucumbers don't necessarily like to have their roots disturbed. So starting them in like a 72 cell tray, those roots would be really compact, and you'd have to kind of pull them apart when you planted them. But if you put them in a larger pot to begin with, the root system is not going to be as compact. So the thought process is that the roots will be fine when you transplant them. So I don't know if that's true or not, but we're going to find out. So this is literally just crookneck squash from In My Gardener. I really like this stuff. I I haven't grown it in a while because I fell in love with the cube of butter. But it's a good squash. I mean, I love yellow squash. I would eat yellow squash every day. I just love it so much. So I'm just gonna do 1 seed in each pot. This soil is pretty dry. I'll moisten it when I'm done. And then I'm also gonna water all these trays because everything needs water out here. My cube of butter, my sweet darling cube of butter. I don't know how many of these I have left. I have 5, okay. And I saved seeds from this last year. I did a video about it. And they did not work. So I'm not really sure what I did wrong. Oh, I have 6, okay. But like they just kind of shriveled up and I'm not really sure why. So if you watched that video and you listened to the advice I gave you, maybe don't, because I apparently don't know what I'm talking about. Italian striped zucchini. Yeah, I really love this. I really love this type of zucchini. Hello, there we go. The plants always seem to do so well for me, and I get a ton of fruit off of it, which, I mean, that's normal with zucchini, but I had a bunch of these plants last year and I never got powdery mildew on any of them, which was pretty good because powdery mildew is just annoying. So these are Waltham butternut squash. I actually got these through the seed swap. So thank you to whoever sent these. I really like butternut squash. I make a really delicious butternut squash soup. But butternut squash was really expensive this winter at the store, so I didn't really make it. They sell like frozen chunks of butternut squash, but it's just not the same. Honey nut, how many of these do I have? Okay. Come on. Oh, I didn't need all of them. Okay. I really like Botanical Interests seeds. They send them in these little packets inside the packet. And it's just to help keep the light off of them because you only get, I mean, this packet of honey nut squash had 10 seeds in it, which is something I meant to save seeds from last year and I didn't. So I need to make sure I do that this year. And this is Delicata, which I also really like, which I didn't know existed until like 2 or 3 years ago, so, you know. Okay, I am gonna do, let's see, what am I gonna do more of? I have 2 rows left, so I have 8 pots. I'm gonna do more zucchini and more yellow squash. I don't know why I had to think about that so hard. Okay. I think I can sell these pretty easily. I'm only gonna ask like $2 for squash because they'll be smaller. One less thing you have to buy at Lowe's or at a nursery. So I hope everyone is having a productive spring so far. I definitely have been feeling a little bit overwhelmed, to be honest. But now that the greenhouse is done and I can actually like come out here and get a bunch of stuff started, I feel a lot better. I need to start working on my ground cover and getting that put down and getting things ready to go in the ground. I also need to start some like carrots and parsnips. I haven't done that yet. I just realized that yesterday that I haven't done that yet. So we're gonna do that this week. I actually saw this hack on TikTok and I might try it. The lady took cornstarch and water and made like a gel and then added carrot seeds to it and then like cooked it to make it like a gel, put it in a Ziploc bag, let it sit in the fridge for like 3 days, cut the tip of it off, and then just like a row of seeds in the ground. It seems gross to me, but it might work. I don't know. I've always used like the board method where you just sprinkle your seeds on the ground and then you put a board over them. And that works okay for me. But I am also always up for like trying a weird thing I saw on TikTok, you know, like a weird gardening hack. Yeah, I'm all for it. So we might be doing that this week. I'm just gonna moisten this soil from the top a little bit before I add water to the bottom tray. I'm actually gonna water all my trays that are in here. And I am gonna wait to repot my herbs because they're looking a little sad. I'll give them some water and let them perk back up, and then I might come back out here later and redo them. All right, so those are moistened. I gotta go turn on the hose and then we can fill up our trays. So that is what I'm doing out in the greenhouse today. Gave everything a nice drink of water. All of our new seeds have been watered as well, and hopefully in the next few days we'll have some new baby plants out here. So that'd be very exciting. Yeah, so that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. I am so excited to be back to making more regular content. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you as always, and I will see you in the next one.